and welcome to The Modern Lady, where you will learn how to elevate your life with elegance. I'm Devereaux. If you're new to my channel, please hit that red subscribe button so you can get an update when I've got a new video to share. If you're returning, welcome back. Thank you, ladies, so much for your continued love and support for my channel. I appreciate and adore you all. Today's video is a very special interview in a series called Pearls of Wisdom. And this is where I interview and shine a spotlight on elegant women that believe in the power of style and sophistication. Today's special guest is Angelina Rosario. She's a transformational coach based in Florida. And it's funny how we met. We were actually both at a women's empowerment conference earlier this year in June in Washington, D.C. And we just connected because she was speaking on a panel and she had such a powerful presence. After the presentation was over, I just had to introduce myself to her, and we've definitely kept in touch ever since. So I adore Angelina. She's so inspirational. She's got a ton of great motivational and inspiring content, and I'm so excited that she is here with us today. So welcome, Angelina.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we are so glad you are here. So, we will dive right into the interview. And why don't we just get started where you can share your story and tell us how She Fixes Crowns came to be?
Awesome. So my story where it began, where my awakening happened, I would say one was when my relationship of 6 years decided my ex. There you go. My ex of 6 years decided to walk away. And from there is where I decided, I'm like, wow, what's this all about? You start asking empowering questions, right? So I was heartbroken, and his excuse I would use was, "Hey, you know what? Like, I'm not ready to get married. I'm not even sure if I'm in love, so I'm out of here." So he left. What made this relationship even harder for me is because he is, and I guess in the space of celebrity. So it was hard for me, like out of sight, out of mind didn't work. And it was really hard for me to see that how his life was unfolding because everything seemed to have been like really going for him. In the meanwhile, he was the one that also told me in the letter, by the way, because he left it to me on a note, and that I'm becoming this God fearing woman, and that he doesn't even know if God really exists. So that was a misalignment right there. Because if anyone knows me and knows my story, knows that I'm a very spiritual believer, and I'm a spiritual person, a believer in Christ, and I just know that a lot of my success, a lot of my overcoming many of the challenges, is just because of His grace and mercy. So for me, it was more so like, all right, so he walks away, and I find out a year later that he's getting married and has a child. In the meanwhile, I get diagnosed with a tumor a size of a baseball on the right side of my face. And so here it is, the spiritual person who's believing, like, all right, everything's working out for the good. And just when I feel like I'm finally getting to that point of my life that, okay, life is happening for me, I get hit with this. And it was really hard for me because, I mean, not being, superficial or anything, but, it was like they were talking about cutting my face, cutting my leg. There was a lot going into it. And I really didn't know what to think of when I first found out. My face was shifting very, very quickly. And so they were telling they would have to remove my entire mouth and I would lose my speech. And so in the midst of it, I really didn't know why this was happening to me, right? I would say, even as spiritual as I am, I did question. I did say, Lord, if you are real, I need you to step in like right away. But to make a long story really short, I went through four different surgeries. I think it was the power of prayer and believing, because I think prayer without belief means nothing. So I think it was like my vision board just kind of just really focusing in that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to take this heartbreak and put it aside and really focus on my health. So I went my first surgery, they did have to remove five teeth, and I caught an infection soon after. And then they had to do a surgery where they had to remove a bone and a nerve on my right leg. And that was the one that I would say this is how She Fixes Crowns manifested. While in ICU, like there was a bunch of tubes, and I was just like really lost in words. That at that moment, I thought they cut my face, but a miracle did happen in ICU when I woke up after a 9 hour surgery. What I found out in the ninth hour, some doctor that I've never seen in my life decided to say to give it one more shot, which I believe it was a miracle. And that's where the nerve and the bone took. They didn't have to cut the right side of my face. But sitting there, I remember looking up because I was so confused and hurt. I said, God, if you can just get me through this. Like I know you exist, but it's hard for me to see you in the midst of everything right now. And I'm really hurting and I'm really trying to stay strong. But I tell you right now, I have nothing in me left. And because at this point I can't really use the restroom on my own. Like I said, I have all these tubes in my mouth and my leg. There's just all types of things happening. I made a promise to God that if He got me through it, I will devote myself to women and anyone, any human being that I can transform, that I would do that. At the moment, I didn't really know what that meant, but I remember tears coming down my eyes. And even after I had two more surgeries after that, but I knew without a doubt there was a presence of peace in the midst of it. And so when I started recovering, I started writing a lot, which is the reason how my book even manifested. I started writing a lot my journey, and what I started realizing that when I started becoming very authentic and vulnerable to my story and posting on social media, just like showing everyone, wow, I am going through this, because I knew that social media has this facade of like everybody's living the best life, right? So, which I think is the reason why people end up depressed majority of the time, because they feel like their life sucks. So I took a chance and said, I'm going to post my pictures with my face. If anybody, if you scroll down, you see my face really, really swollen, or you saw the years that I had to wear a mask. I had to wear a mask everywhere, or when I had to learn how to walk and run and start my life all over again. So that's when I made a promise. And me and this girl that I knew for my job, she actually, her name is Sakil. We started just like brainstorming, and we're like, wow, what about She Fixes Crowns? I'm like, yeah, that feels right, you know? So we started playing around with it. We started the profile. And it's amazing what happens when you're authentic and you own your story, because I think there's so many people out there following the trend instead of owning their truth and doing what God has called them to do, that it was like a refresher. I just started getting a ton of direct messages, DMs, and people like, thank you for sharing this. Oh my God, I'm going through this. I'm going through that. Can you help me? Can you do this? So I'm like, oh, whoa, whoa, there's something here. So as I started testing the waters a little bit, I've always been a coach. Just my innate talent, who I am. You know, I'm now also a full-time general sales manager for 4 radio stations. I have She Fixes Crowns. I coach people. So there's a, I'm like, okay, my innate talent is to really help people transform their pain into purpose. So what's amazing about this is that as I started going into my truth, I noticed the need for it. I noticed that there's a lot of hurting hearts, and it doesn't make it a bad thing. We're all going through something or coming out of something, right? Or going into something. So, is that, our stories is not for ourselves. Our story is to help others. And when we hide our truth, you have no idea how you're doing a disservice to yourself and to the entire universe. So that's how She Fixes Crowns. And since then, I owned it. I said, you know what? I made a promise. I made a promise when I was in ICU. And in the midst of it all, I think She Fixes Crowns is my why. And the reason why I've been able to overcome my two surgeries after that.
That is so incredible, Angelina. And I think it really speaks volumes that you had the courage to lean into your pain and find the purpose behind it. And not only stop there, but expand and share your story with the world, because it's so empowering for you to connect with others and really inspire them despite whatever challenge they may be facing. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. So, my next question for you is around your why. And that's something you kind of just alluded to at the very end of your story. She Fixes Crowns is your why. So, can you talk about how someone can maybe find their why and why it's so important to know what your why is?
Yeah. So I believe that your why is what allows you to overcome pain, right? If you don't know why you're doing something, your bigger purpose. So for me, it's really important to transform lives, and which means it doesn't mean that my life is just going to be smooth sailing. That means I'm also going to still face trials and tribulations, because it's the only way we grow. That's the only way we grow. So it's saying no matter what hits me, no matter what I have to overcome, I will continue striving to touch as many lives as possible to transform their pain into purpose, because that is my why. So, and I think a lot of people quit their dreams, their desires, whatever they're, because their why is not strong enough. Because I don't know why they feel that you make up your mind and say, "Yep, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do it. Yep, it's gonna." And then you're like a year later, 2 years, like, "Oh, no." Okay, some people are like 2 days, and it's like, "Yep, this is not for me." You have to understand that whatever you do, no matter if it's divine purpose, there is going to be a lot of humps along the way. And you have to also understand that there's reasons why you have to go through those growth spurts, because those challenges is what's going to allow you to step into your next chapter. There's a level of maturity needed for you to step into that realm. And that's what people, they almost take that for granted because they feel like, yeah, I can do that. Well, no, no, no. That's why, I always say the haters, like people who I've realized that as I step more into my truth, I've had people that I thought were down for me. They were totally down for me, by the way, when I had my mask and, looking like I was not going to survive this chapter of my life. But all of a sudden, when they seen, like, oh, wait a minute, she's like really doing this, like she's really stepping into her truth, that they're not really supporting me. And so, that you can easily get discouraged because you're fear of like losing people that right? Losing things that you've been comfortable with. So, because guess what? When you step into your why, more than likely you are going to lose, just people that were around you, because I think your mind gets elevated and you start attracting different people and different things, and it's supposed to happen that way. Again, I always say, please don't judge it good or bad or right or wrong. It's called a journey for a reason. It doesn't make this person less than you. It just means that you have elevated consciously in another level. So just expect to attract different things. And so, going back to wrapping this up, I just feel that my why is really important because it keeps me going, even when there's doubt. There's going to be self-doubt. There's going to be days that you're just like, man, like I thought I would be here, and I thought by doing this I will achieve that, and it doesn't happen. Shut. And it's so easy to get discouraged and think, well, maybe this is not for me. Maybe I need to try something else. What I will tell you, if you write down your mission and you tell yourself, this is my why, and it has to be more than money, because here's the kicker. I've invested more in my business than I've received so far, right? But the good news is that I also know that's all going to come back tenfold, because as you step into your why, there's a lot and my why really has to be investing in myself. I just mentioned I have a coach. I believe in coaches. I'm a coach. I believe in being coached. The conferences, the workshops, the networking events, me going to DC speaking, that costs money. But what you realize is that it takes money to make money. But when you just go into your why saying, you know what, no matter if I didn't get paid for it, I'm totally doing this because I enjoy it. I lose track of time. That's another way to find out. If you're trying to figure out, for those who don't know their why, figure out what do you gravitate to. Not what the trend is doing, not because, hey, the cool people are doing this. Remember, you have a unique purpose. You were created for a divine purpose. Figure out in the best way to do that. Sometimes it's just sitting alone with yourself and ask yourself empowering questions like, what do I gravitate to? Like, what do I absolutely love that if I didn't get paid for it, I would do it? What about, like, what do I do that I really lose track of time? I'm like, shucks, it's been 2 or 3 hours and I haven't drank anything, ate anything, and that's it right there. Or even another question: what about if you were paid? If right now you won the lottery and you didn't have to work a full time job or anything, what would you do just for free, just for the heck of it? That's your why. And I think people can become complacent, um, or they're afraid to take the risk. I don't know how you can achieve anything without taking a risk. I haven't experienced it. If you have, please let me know. I haven't experienced anything that is around your why that it doesn't consist of you taking a risk.
Absolutely. I love that. I think taking risks is so important to growth and development, getting to that next level and not living just an average life where you're complacent, right?
Yeah.
But taking risks can sometimes be really hard. And so, a lot of women out there that may be introverts, maybe they're shy, that's how they kind of shelter themselves from really being fearless and stepping into their feminine power, what would you say is one thing that a woman can do to be fearless and have the type of courage that you had, Angelina?
I would tell you it's owning who you are. I mean, there's something to be said when you just step into your truth. I think fear comes when you're comparing yourself to others. So if I'm looking right or I'm looking left to see what everyone is doing, of course I'm going to be fearful. Why? Because if I perceive my reality is my perception, right? So, or my perception is my reality, right? So, of course I'm perceiving everybody's doing so much better than me. Oh my God, they speak so much better than me. Oh my God, they're doing their Instagram so much better than me. Oh my God. No, I mean, I listen, I have a rule with social media. 5 minutes, I like da, 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 and keep it moving. I really just my whole thing in living a fearless life is living authentic. I believe when you step into your truth and you find your purpose, and I just told you why how, is like when I realized that my purpose is to help people transform their pain by telling them my truth. I don't have to know what you're doing. I can bless it. I can tell you, girl, I have your back. I support you. Guess what? Because your path is not mine. And I think that's that jealousy that comes in, not wishing other people the best is because you are trying to do what they're doing. And that's not your divine purpose. So to me, I mean, I can get on a panel. I don't care if you're more experienced than me. I don't care if you're trying to overtalk me. Like, I can own it because I know my purpose. So I can be like, girl, you sound amazing. I am so excited for you. You are, woo, let me clap for you. And just because I'm owning my truth, I know who I am. And I know that's hard. So just, on that note, be careful who you're following on Instagram, Facebook, any social media platform, how much time you're spending on it, and if it's not, I always say these triggers for you. So if you feel like there's a trigger that happens inside, like it's just pay attention, be aware. I'm like, wow, what's that trigger coming from? Like, is that an envy? Did I feel some type of way because this person seems to be living their best life or doing what you want to do, but you haven't found the courage, the confidence to step into it? So you're kind of mad that this person has. Pay attention to those things because instead of I always say hating, you can, I always say when you're ready, the teacher will appear, right? When the student's ready, the teacher appears. When you're ready to step in the truth, what I do know, I'm a firm believer in the law of attraction. And I believe consciously, when you are really ready to step into your truth, when you say, I'm going to live a fearless life, I'm going to live a fearless life, I'll be authentic. I'm just going to be me. And I'm going to continue working on me. And I know that I'm attracting the right people, the right opportunities as I'm working on myself, making sure that I'm also elevating my consciousness. That what you realize that you don't have, I don't know how to explain it because you don't even know when it happened. It just happens that you feel like, feel a little more confident here, right? So it just comes natural. But if as long as you're comparing yourself to others, or feel like I don't know, I'll do it tomorrow. Like I make fun of people and be like, I'll work out on Monday. I'll eat right on Monday. I'm like, well, if you're waiting for that perfect moment, it's just like um it's not gonna happen because you're always gonna find a reason why to procrastinate. So I'm always saying like, do it now. It could be Saturday at 3 o'clock, and if that spark hits, go for it and take baby steps. It doesn't have to, I think people always get overwhelmed. I don't have the resources to step into my why. Okay, well, if you did have something, what would be that one thing that you would do? What is one thing? And what you'll find is that we have all the answers within. They could be like, you know what? I can go ahead and just serve on the internet and figure out if there's maybe, some networking event that I can go to. That's one step, right? As long as you're moving towards your why, God, universe, whatever you want to call it, I believe will open the next step for you.
I love that. I love that. I also wholeheartedly agree with you that the law of attraction is so incredibly powerful. And that's really how you can start to impact not just your life, but your environment and everything a part of your lifestyle, all those different pieces. So, for the women that maybe have negative people or negative situations that they're trying to navigate through, how can they start to weed through that to have more success in their life based on filling it with positivity?
Oh my gosh, I love that question. Yeah, because okay. I'm like I always tell everyone I'm one to reevaluate my entire circle every 5 years. I mean every year with my 5 friends because I'm like, who are my 5 closest people because that will tell me where I'm going. if you really are serious about stepping into a new chapter in your life and moving forward, no matter how much pain you're going through, I'm talking about because I can speak it. I not only went through a really bad breakup, I had a tumor that, I mean, literally, they were telling me that here are going to be all my challenges. And once I discovered my why, mask in my face, everything going on, I decided to step into my truth. Then I started reevaluating who is around my circle. Like if you asked me 2 years ago, did I go to any networking events? I'm like, no. Um, did I do anything? I'm like, no, probably not. Didn't do any of that. But it's amazing to see the miracles that unfolding when I have aligned myself. And I didn't really have to go looking for these people. Like they literally got attracted to me. It is so cool to see it unfold. And but you have to make space for that. So that means sometimes you're gonna have to be comfortable being lonely for a little bit if these people are not serving you. And I don't mean forever because this can also be your family members, right? If they're negative and they're putting self doubt, like, what are you doing, girl? Don't quit your full time job, or what are you doing? What is this stuff I see on social media? Like, this looks like, are you trying to start your own business? Like, so you have to be careful with that because you're already gonna have self doubt all by yourself. So you're going to have to get around with people who are going to support you. So you're going to have to make some conscious decisions and say, okay, how is this person serving me? How is this person? Are we heading on the same path? And again, don't judge it. It's not saying, wow, this person sucks, you're a dummy, and you're really not doing anything with your life. Just saying, this person we're just going in two different paths right now, and that's okay. Open yourself up, and what you'll notice, as I said, like you'll start saying networking events. And the networking events that you're probably going to is the things that you're trying to step into anyway, so you're going to start attracting like minded people. From that, you have no other idea how that is going to unfold another opportunity. And so again, like if you are hanging out with people that are not serving you or are just kind of okay, just staying still and living their life, it's completely up to you, by the way, because you have free will in this world. So if you say, you know what, I'm just going to stop talking less to them and actually read a book that is aligned with where I want to go in life. I'm actually going to go to YouTube and listen to a video that is going to encourage me and inspire me and make me want to move forward. I'm going to do some research. So that lonely time, whatever's stopping you from saying I can't no longer surround myself around this environment because I have a goal now and I have steps on how I'm going to move forward to my goal. That means that I'm going to use my time wisely instead of serving on social media and checking to see their caption and who comments on what, you know, that no longer serves you. So if you're wondering, let me end it with this question. If you're wondering, where I wonder where I'm going to be in the next 5 years, all you have to do is look around you, see who you're surrounding yourself with. I mean, being completely authentic, I just ended up in another relationship because I was like, yeah, we're not aligned. I'm going here. And not being afraid because I think, sometimes the single thing is like, oh my God. But I've elevated so much and my goals in life, I will be married, I will have kids, but as I'm preparing for that, I have to start opening up myself for that space, right? And so I had to ask myself that question of about 3 weeks ago and say, wow, this man, how does he serve in the direction that I'm going? And unfortunately, we're not going in the same direction. He's a very amazing person, a beautiful soul. I think someone will be extremely lucky to have him. But I'm so strong about my why and how I see my life manifest that I don't see how he's going to fit into that space. So it's making really difficult decisions what feels right for you because you're saying yes to you, yes to your new chapter in life.
I love that. I love that. You know what, Angelina? It's so funny, but I think that women more so than men have this fear of being alone. We have this fear of not having someone around, someone to talk to. And so it happens much more often for us to be complacent and just have someone kind of take up that space in our lives but it's not necessarily fulfilling. It's not serving us. And so I love that advice. So, ladies, you heard it from Angelina. You have to empty your cup to
Yeah,
make room for
yeah.
that positivity and for all of those new opportunities to unfold and expand into your life. I love that.
Thank
So
you.
you mentioned one thing people could do to get some extra inspiration aside from YouTube is to read. So I'd love to know from you, Angelina, what is one book that helped you transform how you think or what you do in your life that you're maybe still using some of that really great wisdom today?
Oh my God. Okay, so I am a Napoleon Hill fan, right? So the author. So I've read two of his books. I've Earl Nightingale. I don't know if you guys know. So because they have so many books, and I've like literally been on YouTube, just kind of just grow and grow and think rich was one of my favorite ones. The Alchemist, I think, was a really great book. Okay, so I'm like aging myself right now because I love it. I like anything that is success have left clues. And these are people that, I think they got their beliefs from the Bible. And so they're just put into simple terms so people can understand it. I like anything right now. The Alchemist, I am a speaker, so I'm obviously reading right now The Wealthy Speaker, and because that's just what I'm focusing on right now. But if I had anyone, because it's such a mindset, everything that I'm talking about will not work if your mindset is not there. Let's just being completely honest. So I'm a firm believer that if you don't get that area of your life fixed first, and which means it's a lot of cleansing, it's a lot of awareness, it's a lot of saying, okay, where and as a coach, I say, where are you resonating your low levels, right? Like why are you defaulting to this? Like, why are you feeling like I don't have the energy, or like if I don't feel like I have all the answers, I kind of disengage and just go into my little shell. So these are the things I do coach people through because I want to get a better understanding why you're not living to your fullest potential. And the number one thing I would tell you is the mindset. So every book that I've ever read and I continue reading is because, and even the Bible, I am a Bible girl because I didn't grow up in the Bible. Like this all came to me a couple years ago and I think everything has proper timing. Because I think if anybody would have given me that, I'd be like, okay, stop it. Get that stuff away from me. And even we know I love Eckhart Tolle, and even with Eckhart Tolle, I remember the Earth Awakening, and I remember even with this, I had a friend to refer me that actually refer me that shipped me a book, The Eagle or something. It's something dealing with the eagle, and that eagle word has such a bad connotation that I was like, eagle, I don't have an eagle. Like I'm the most like humble person, but then when I learned more about what the eagle means, like edging God out, and that's a lot of people don't realize it doesn't necessarily mean arrogant, it just means that you living in fear is ego, right? So you saying, you're getting defensive about things when there's constructive criticism coming your way, it's ego, so there's so many things that the ego can affect. And that's why for me, I only read things that are gonna help me. So anyone looking to read a book, first step I would tell you, you have to do what feels right for you. But instead of reading some novel love story, like that's not me. I'm not that girl. I'm totally that girl who loves about like how can I make money by also serving the world. I believe in abundance. I believe that my health taught me this, that you only have one shot to this thing called life. So I'm gonna live full out. Like I'm gonna live what like I don't want to leave this world without having everything that God said I would have. So I'm not gonna shortchange myself. So even like when people be like, "Oh, look at her, she's like being bougie, she buys this, she buys that." Yes, I absolutely do, and I own my truth. And it's not being bougie. Like I'm like I've not only worked hard, I believe in abundance. Like I don't believe that you should live in a world where, and trust me, I've gone through this. I'm a girl raised in the project, absolutely nothing. Um, Single mom. Our dad left us when I was like 8 years old. So I come from nothing. So I also believe this is why I'm such a firm believer. Don't make any excuses for your life because I definitely didn't have a silver spoon. I've worked extremely hard for everything that I have. But now that I can recall, I think it was all a mindset. I'm a dreamer, so I've always dreamt myself like I'm gonna have this. I believe in law of attraction, and I believe in doing all the proper steps. So read the right things. Like I'm don't believe in listening to the news. Like I don't need to know what our president is doing. Don't really care, you know. I don't like anything that is going to disrupt my peace and the direction that I'm going. So even working out, I am listening to a book and YouTube motivational. Like I'm now into very much into like repeating again and again the Earl Nightingale, Bob Proctor, like all these people that Lisa Nichols. Like I'm a huge fan, Tony Robbins. So I'm constantly listening to these people every single day. So and I do have a morning ritual. I believe in it. I wake up early in the morning. I am, don't do this. I know people like you're crazy. I'm not waking up at 4:30 in the morning, but it works for me. So I wake up at 4:30 in the morning, put my gym clothes, grab my tea, go. I have my vision board. I call it my sanctuary. I have my vision board, and can I tell you that about 80% of everything that I put on that vision board has manifested already. So, I do have to plug in my book, which is, amazing. It's called Thank You for Walking Away. As I mentioned, there is no good or bad, right or wrong. If it wasn't for my ex walking away, a book would have never manifested. If it wasn't for the tumor, she fixed its crown, would have never manifested. So, was it really bad? Or was it that I used my pain to transform my life and to push me more into who I was called to be?
Yes, I love that. Every struggle, every setback. I love the phrase that every setback is a setup for a comeback.
Man, yes,
We
yes.
never have a reason to be held down, to be distraught, because there is always something greater in store. I love that. You're just giving me so much inspiration in this interview. I absolutely love this, Angelina.
Thank
Okay,
you.
um, two last questions. So, one, who is your favorite elegant role model?
Ah, Oprah.
Okay,
It's
Oprah
funny you
Winfrey.
say this because I literally, no joke, Oprah's coming to Florida. And I just like, I work for a radio station as well. And I'm laughing because I'm like, I am not sitting in the, I sound like so bullshit. I'm not sitting in the 300, 400. It's Oprah. I am going to pay for my ticket. And I like literally was cracking up. I am sitting in the first row because I'm like, Oprah. There are so many celebrities, and I'm guessing in Atlanta you see them as well. Dallas, yeah, I guess you can see them anywhere, like literally in and out. And I don't care. I'm not moved by celebrities, but there's two women that I would be a groupie for, and I'm letting everyone know that this. If you see Angelina running down the street somewhere or acting crazy, getting arrested, it's because either she saw Oprah or Michelle Obama. One of the two just happened for me, and I'm just, I'm really big on having the right role models, and Oprah and Michelle Obama just do it for me. Their classiness, their intelligence, their how they own their truth, how they communicate, just the legacy they're leaving behind is just in awe. Like if I always say, I'm like, I believe in owning your truth, but I'm like, I duplicate just a little bit of them. I'm like, I love them. I just, yeah. You see, I get excited. I'm like, I love these women.
Yes, yes. I have to agree with you that Oprah Winfrey and First Lady Michelle Obama are pretty much like super women, like they're superheroes in the flesh.
Yes, yes,
They're
yes.
absolutely amazing, so elegant and so timeless and classy. Okay, one last question for you, Angelina. So, what is one piece of timeless advice, or as I like to call it, one pearl of wisdom that you live by every single day?
Own your story. Own your story. I feel that so many of us are walking around as a victim, just because of our past and what we've experienced. And this could really be a way for you to push forward. Own it, be authentic. You are not here to serve, to serve just a mediocre life, right? To be mediocrity. Like I just believe that if you own your truth and you own, which is your story, and you just say, how did I learn from this, and how can I share the story with someone else to help them get over whatever situation or obstacles or challenges. I think that's to me is huge. I mean I'm really intuitive, so I can read BS from a mile away. And so I'm just like I'm like, why can't you just be you? And you know what's beautiful when you be you? Like you attract the right people. It's sad. You can't you just be a bad copycat. Like you'll be a terrible copycat trying to be someone else. That person's already taken. So just own your truth. Appreciate every bit of you. Take it from someone that went through a health journey that took teeth maybe for granted, which I don't anymore. Or just, being able to like just exercise. Like, I'm a professional dancer, and when that bone and nerve was removed, it just prohibited me from doing a lot of what I've always known and exercising. So it just, but hey, you know what? This can help someone. And this is why I don't have no shame to tell you, like, yeah, I have the most beautiful teeth. I think my teeth are beautiful now. So I'm like, I realized that sharing my truth and not being embarrassed by all the things that I endured helped more than I could ever imagine. And that, my friend, I would never ever trade, because if I can go back to who I was 5 years ago before this journey started, I would tell you that I mean, I faced challenges, but nothing like my health journey. And so, but man, who I became along the way, who I am today, bring it. I'm always be like, bring it. Like, I'm ready. I'm just ready to just continue on this journey, continue where God is leading me. I'm excited. So own your truth, own your story. Just stop looking right and left. Nobody's prettier. If they were, so the heck what? I'm like, own your truth. You're perfect. You're perfectly imperfect. And that's what makes us so beautiful.
I love that. Perfectly imperfect. I say that too. So much, Angelina. You have given us so many pearls of wisdom, not just one, and so much inspiration and motivation in this interview today. So, thank you so much for being on the Modern Lady YouTube channel. And before we go, where are the best places that people can find you online?
Yeah. SheFixesCrowns.com is my website. And I also, you can find me on Instagram, She Fixes Crowns, and that's with a plural, crowns. And this is all my social media platform is the same. So I'm looking forward to connecting with many of you ladies. And yes, I'm all about sharing as well. So share some good tips with me. If you heard anything that great takeaway, but you say, look, I want to elaborate on that, please share that with me.
Yes, ladies, if you have any questions or any comments, share it in a comment below. We will definitely keep the conversation going and we will enjoy continuing to add inspiration and motivation to each other. Angelina, thank you so very much for being on The Modern Lady and for joining in on this interview. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you later.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Okay, bye.